was. They were that close.
Wow.
She'd come up every day to see my mother. And I remember her like it was yesterday. It was so funny. She used to wear the long black skirts down to the ground. And we'd see her come in. She'd just stand there, no underwear, pee in the road. I thought that was funny because there'd be nobody on the road, but we'd be watching for her.
Yeah.
Right? So, but it's amazing. There was class distinction in those days,
Yeah.
which is sad. Not any. I don't think there's class distinction anymore.
I don't think so
No.
either. I don't think it's like it was years ago.
Right. It's like when my sister, she married this guy in England. He's from Kildare. He's Irish. Anyway, they met on the buses. When she left here, she went back to Ireland, and she stayed in Ireland for 6 months, and then she went from there to England, and she got a job on the buses. And she met this young Kelly, the same age as herself. And anyway, they were going out together for quite a while, but he was a gambler, betting on anything that could run.
Oh boy.
Anyway, it seems that he made out very good with his gambling, and then he went into business for himself. And my son was over there 3 or 4 years ago. He had made 3 million profit that year. He went into demolition business,
Wow.
and the houses that they have, I do not see anything in Greenfield Hill to compare with them.
Wow.
And it seems that his sister died, and they brought the body back to Ireland, to Kildare, to be buried. That's where she wanted to be buried. And there was some girls sitting in front of my nieces, and they were talking. And one lady said to the other, "Oh, he married a wealthy girl from the west of Ireland, from Galway." So we always teased Eileen ever since. "Eileen, you must have gotten it all, because I didn't get anything from the west." And of course, she didn't. I mean, it was just
They made the
they
money.
made up the story that he married a wealthy girl from the west of
Oh,
Ireland.
God.
They made the money themselves.
They made the money.
They-
They worked hard.
Did. They worked hard. Because many the night now I'd be talking to Eileen, and she'd be out watering the roses or doing something like that at 10 o'clock at night. But now
Oh, she still lives in England.
she lives in England, but then they have a big house in Ireland, in Galway.
They go over and back.
They go back and forth.
Good for them.
The house they have in Ireland, it's about, I think she must have 6 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms upstairs. They built that. But,
Now they have family.
oh yes, they have 5 kids, and the 5 kids now are running the business.
And you have 5 kids too.
Yes.
So do you want to name your kids?
Did I name them?
Do you want to name them?
Yes. Thomas, Brian, Sean, Sheila, and Maureen. I have them off by heart. Because they're at the house. They're at the house every Sunday.
Huh. They come over to you every Sunday?
Every Sunday.
Oh, aren't they great?
Well, there's always chores to be done, so they're either splitting wood, or they're painting, or they're digging the yard. Or Tommy last Sunday was Sunday evening. He was on the driveway there patching. And
Oh, they're so good to you. So they are.
thank
Wow.
God for that. But they live close. Tommy lives in Shelton, and Sean lives in Shelton, and Sheila, she lives in Milford, and Brian lives up on Madison Avenue in Bridgeport, and Maureen lives in Guildford.
Oh, so they're all in
So they're
Quebec.
not too far at all. Now, some people, their kids are miles away, they only see them once a year. But
And now, how are your kids now compared to, like, let's say your sister or brother's kids that are from Ireland and grew up in Ireland?
they're
Do you think
about
that
the same.
your kids are just as Irish as they
To
are?
me, they are. Now, Sheila has made, I don't know how many trips to Ireland. I have no idea how many trips she's made to Ireland.
And they see themselves as just being like their cousins.
That's right. She feels more at home in Ireland than she does here. Now, you know Sheila. I know you do, right?
I know.
Right.
I know. You think she'd ever go over to live?
She's going next week. I mean, next month. We're all going.
That's great.
Right, so
Wonderful.
anyway, I've forgotten how many trips she's made. Must be 16 or 17. So.
She knows her cousins very well.
Oh, she does. Oh, she does. I want to tell you something funny. One night, it seemed she had an argument with her cousin in Ireland.
Right.
And he was supposed to be taking her someplace. And she said, never mind, she said, I'll go by myself. So she went off down the road and she figured that's the cousin coming. So anyway, she went out in front of this car that's coming. She goes like that with the skirt. And it wasn't her cousin at all. She could have died.
It wasn't the local priest?
It wasn't. Thank God it wasn't. But
well, I know Sheila, and I know she's a character.
She is a character. She is.
Yes, but I think she's exactly you too.
Well, I guess I had my day, but...
Mary, you have to tell us a good joke. Do you have any good jokes?
Well, the last... I told I was at a party Sunday. I didn't know one person at the party peg. They were all from Harbour Road and Pequod Road and all the wealthy ones from Southport. Anyway, I met up with those two, and so we headed off right away. And anyway, it seems she said to me, I know you from someplace. I said, well, I've lived around Southport all my life. Anyway, she says, do you have any good jokes? And I says, one came to my head like that. I says, were you ever in Conley's? I looked at him and says, were you ever at Conley's in New York? As a bar place. And he says, I was. Anyway, I said, there was this girl one night and she went into Conley's and she said, anybody here want to buy a lady a drink? A big blob of black hair hanging down. Anybody here want to buy a lady a drink? And this drunk up at the end of the bar, he said to the bartender, I'll buy that. Ballerina a drink anytime. And the bartender said, she's not a ballerina. But he says, anybody that can raise their leg that high has got to be a ballerina. But anyway, before I knew it, I had about 6 people around me. I got to know them all, but I didn't know a soul when I got there at that party.
The belle of the ball, Mary.
But anyway, there was this... Oh, she insisted. Oh, she said, come on, you have to tell me another one. So anyway, I said, all right. There was this Conley's bar again. This guy comes in one night and he said, drinks are on me. My wife just said a 26-pound baby boy this morning. So drinks are on me. And they're all thinking, 26 pounds? That's impossible. So he said, no, that's average for an Irish baby boy. In Ireland, that's an average weight. So anyway, they were all taking bets now after Pat left. He said, I'll be back in a month. So anyway, they're all taking bets between them. This baby's going to be 30, 35 pounds, maybe 40 pounds if he's going to be back in a month. So he comes back in a month. All right, tell us, what's the weight of the baby now, Pat? And he says, oh, he's 16 pounds. How could he have lost so much? Well, the wife and myself decided I'm circumcised. Anyway, all right, we finished now?
No, we're nearly done, Mary. We maybe just a couple more questions and just a few things. Well,
Few
that
pounds.
was a great job.
Right.
And now, how do you think? Let me see. Oh, all right. Christmas in Ireland. What's your favorite memory of Christmas in Ireland?
Oh, we didn't have a Christmas tree.
Oh.
No, not in those years. They didn't have Christmas trees in Ireland. But they did light candles on all the windows. That was to say you're welcome. And, of course, there was always the big feast day, and they went all out. But you were lucky to get, in our house, I think what we'd get was I might get a doll, my sister might get something else, and the boys would get either new socks or new shoes or something like that, or an orange.
An orange.
Right.
An orange.
And that was about it. But my last memory of my Christmas in Ireland was somebody banged the door and the curtains went on fire with the candle on the windowsill.
Oh my goodness, did it set the house on fire?
It didn't, no. It seems that
I know.
one of us knew enough to run in and just pull the curtains right off the windows.
Oh,
And
it was your last Christmas there.
that was my last Christmas, right?
Was there a lot of snow at Christmas time?
No.
back then?
No, there wasn't.
And so in the summertime back then, were the summers nice? Was the weather nice back then?
I don't ever remember saying it was too hot. It was just nice in the summer.
And did we get a lot of rain
Oh God, yes.
all the time?
You didn't have a dinner without a potato. You didn't have a day without rain.
Oh, wow.
Believe me.
Oh, right.
But I remember my father telling us that there was snow up to the top of the walls one time. But I never seen that. You know, the walls on the side of the road.
In 1947.
Well, I was there in 1947. I don't remember that. I didn't even 48. And a lot of cattle and stuff died that time because you couldn't put the cattle indoors or the sheep. So they died outside in the snow.
Oh, wow. You didn't. Did you have no sheds to put the cattle into?
There was no sheds for the cattle.
So they
The
died
cattle,
outside 'cause it got
right.
so
But I didn't see this, of course. But this is what he told me.
Mm.
Because of with whatever winter it was, that the snow was ever so high. They couldn't even go outside to bring in a bucket of water. So,
Well, many people were very talented back then. Did you have any talents that we don't know about?
well, I want to tell you, one year I was home and we were all together, all my sisters and brothers, and I was saying to my mother, everybody was born with a talent. God gives a talent to everybody because she could crochet, she could knit, she could do anything. Anyway, and I said to my sister, then I said, Bridie, I says, you're very talented. She's a great step dancer. And my young sister piped up and she says, you're very talented. You've got the gift to the gap.
Well, on that note, I was
Right.
just going to say,
The gift to the gap.
you and Tom have been married for over
52 years, right?
What would you say is
First
made
20
your
years of the
marriage
first 20
last
years of the
52
hardest.
years?
What'd you say?
What would you say that made your marriage last 52 years?
To bite your tongue.
Bite your tongue?
Right.
Anything else you can think of?
No, because if there's any kind of an argument, one has to learn to bite their tongue.
Oh.
Because one word can lead to another.
In 52 years, did you never want to kill him?
My tongue has fallen out. My tongue has fallen out. No, you don't realize. I mean, you have to learn to bite your tongue. That was the way I felt.
Yeah. So, now you've been here for over 50 years
Right.
as well.
Right.
Would you ever consider going home to live?
No. If we didn't do it when Tom wanted us to move, the kids were small at the time, and he wanted to buy a place in Galway. It was a bar. And I said, no, this is the kids' home now. I think Tommy was about 10, 11, and I said to me, too much of a change for him and for Brian and Sean. So I said, no. I said, if we had done it when they were about 2 or 3 years old, it would have been wiser, but
you'd never go back now to live?
no, I couldn't live over there now. I couldn't. 'Cause all my friends are here and all my kids, and I know they can't afford to come back and forth.
Yeah.
I'd miss them every Sunday. I'd miss them every Sunday.
Be able to do your little bits of business
Right.
around the house.
That's right. Right.
So that your family is the most thing you'd miss.
That's right.
If you did go back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But how do you think life has changed here since you've moved here till now? Do you think is there a big difference?
I don't notice the difference. I kind of adjusted the whole way.
So it doesn't seem like a big change.
No,
No,
not to me. Not to me. Now Tom would probably find a change because he was in the working world, but
No, I'm not sure if I have many more questions for you, Mary, but I want to add, do you want to add anything? Is there anything you'd like to tell us?
Well,
any stories or?
I just told you 2 jokes, that's
I
enough.
know. But
Right.
any stories you'd like to tell us about anything that happened to you years ago that was funny or different or?
Nothing that I can remember.
And well, no, your favorite food was salmon.
Right.
But what do you still make today that you really
Lamb.
love to make?
Lamb.
Lamb.
Yes. And shepherd's pie. Of course, I like the shepherd's pie where you do the lamb, and then the next day or 2 days later, whatever you've left over, you.
The shepherd's pie.
That's my shepherd's pie. I don't like it with the ground beef. That's the American way, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
No.
The lamb was the original.
Right, right.
Can
And
you share your recipe?
yes.
Any special little things that you put in there?
No, I put in all the vegetables that's left over from the dinner on Sunday. The peas and the carrots and string beans
Whatever.
and onions, yeah. Put them all in with the lamb. And all you need is about a quarter of a cup of gravy. And then I do my mashed potatoes, put them on top. And there's never enough. There's never enough.
You also make your soda bread.
Oh, I do, yeah.
And it's really, really good. I'm talking from experience.
Oh, you are. In other words, you didn't die, right?
I've had it. Oh,
Right.
I've had it.
Right. No, I get the wheat brand from Ireland.
Do you?
I do.
What did you put in it?
Yes.
So you want to tell us the recipe for your soda bread as well?
Right.
Or is that a secret?
What I call the soda bread is
And the brown
the
bread.
raisin bread.
Oh, you know,
That's
I
what
call it, you see, I call the brown bread the soda bread.
All right.
But it's not really. It's
Well, it is soda bread because I use buttermilk and soda, and I use a handful. I don't measure anything, so.
yeah, my grandmother was the same.
But I want to tell you, I was teaching somebody one day, which is Margie Bastick. She wanted to see how I made the bread, so I said, all right, I'll tell you what. I have the buttermilk and I have the flour, but you have to bring over a bowl and a pan so you can bake it. And I says, then you can watch me because I can't tell you how I make it, so watch me. Two of them came out different. The two of them came out different, even though she's watching me.
To say that nobody's is ever the same.
That's right.
Nobody's
Right.
ever turns out the same.
So anyways, Sheila said to me there, oh God, a few years ago, Mommy, when you die, none of us know how to make the bread. So she says, can you write it out? So I said, I'll write it out, but that doesn't say. It'll
You
come
gotta
out.
over and make it
Right.
with you.
Right. No, I use about 3 cups of white flour and a handful of wheat bran and a teaspoon and a half of baking soda and a teaspoon of salt and 2 tablespoons of sugar and buttermilk. Mix the whole thing together.
And when you mix it together, do you mix it like really fast in the bowl?
No, I have
I see my grandmother.
I have a regular spoon that I just mix it up with, and then the last few minutes I knead it, so that it's not sticky.